and record movie. The Pale Moth, the Puppet Master, the Grey Cardinal, the Kremlin. These nicknames are directed to the Forbes magazine most powerful man in the world, the president of the Russian Federation for 15 consecutive years, Sir Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Today, we'll be focusing on the most important sources of Putin's power, which began when he seized that power and silenced his opponents, acquired total control over the media, and the strength of the circle of people he holds most close to him. Born on October 7th, 1952, in St. Petersburg, which was then known as Leningrad, to mother Maria Ivanovna Shalomova, a factory worker, and father Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin, a conscript of the Soviet Navy, which ultimately inspired young Putin's dream. According to Masha Gresson's book, The Unlikely Rise of Vladimir Putin, while other young boys dreamt of becoming a cosmonaut, Vladimir Putin wanted to be a KGB officer. When he joined, the Soviet Union was in a brief period of peace, which was before the Vietnam War and after Afghanistan. He studied law at the Leningrad University, and in 1996, he moved to Moscow to join the presidential staff. In July of 1998, President Yeltsin made Putin the director of Federal Security Service. Shortly after, he was promoted to secretary, and in 1999, Putin was appointed prime minister. Putin's first year as prime minister coincided with an economic boom, states the Emmy Skyton from the University of Helsinki. This increased his popularity, and by the time he was elected president in March of 2000, him and his supporters amassed more authority, which gave him the power to change the Russian government to his liking. He reorganized the political parties and removed the rights of the regional governors who sat in the upper house of the Russian parliament. And when he got hold of most of the national and regional politicians, he pinned them beneath his wing. Isaac Chotiner, a journalist from The New Yorker, in his article on January 23rd of 2020, explained to us that Putin announced sweeping changes to the Russian constitution. And members of the parliament, or anyone for that matter who opposed him, were suspiciously resigning or being fired. And on other matters, in most cases, they were imprisoned or murdered. For example, in 2015, opposition politician Boris Nemtsov was shot close to the Kremlin. And according to his family, the murder was politically motivated. In his quest on changing the constitution, he fired the country's prosecutor general, and the prime minister, with the government, then resigned. With having the power over the government of his country, for Putin to gain power over the people, he needed to gain control of Russia's mainstream media. He began by reducing the power of the media financiers, causing closure of several media outlets, putting both state media and private-owned media under his influence. Alexei Vendiktov, the editor of Russia's only remaining independent radio station, expressed that limitations on the media have existed for only the 15 years that Vladimir Putin has been in power. Putin's concept of media is a very simple transactional equation. Whoever owns the media controls what it says. While his power and control over the people through the media is potent, the elite group of people who are in his circle are the ones who made him who he is. And as I stated before, The political leaders that are under his tutelage are the reason why he is so great and powerful. So to simply put it, he influences them along with the media, and they influence the people. Although he is the most powerful man in Russia, the political environment in Russia has become more and more unstable, and it is unclear the extent of his control. But through how he seized the power and gained control over the media with the help of his elite inner circle, these are the pillars of what keeps Vladimir Putin in power for 15 years and counting. Some of you may think it is unfair, but to Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, power is the pinnacle of anything you can gain in this life. Thank you.
Thank you.